Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89 here. Well, Madonna, what has she been doing this week? Well, she went to Miami for the Madame X tour, and while she was there, she was spotted on the balcony with, what's his name? Ahlamalik Williams? I think that's how you say his name. I'm bad with pronunciations, forgive me. Um, Now, I've never really commented on Madonna's personal life before, some of her weird backstage photos and stuff, yeah. But I've never really talked about her personal life before because it's kind of none of my business. But um, I found this interesting because we all saw videos earlier in the year, June and August, and that of her twerking on him and dancing with him and stuff. And I just sort of thought, she's always friendly with her dancers. It's like a little family when you're working on a tour together. People get very close. As an artist, I've sort of worked in a few little groups, and it gets like that. I've never been a dancer or a performer like that, and it does get very close physically, and you become like a family. And I didn't really think much of it. I thought, she's just flirting, whatever, and she just wants people to think she's, dating another young guy, because it gets attention. But then I saw these photos of them on a balcony together, and he's standing behind her with his hands around her hips and that, and they look very coupley. And the only other people there are Lourdes and some guy she seems to be dating, or friendly with at least. And I think there's one other person there or something, but they're in a hotel in Miami or something. And I thought, okay, well, obviously they are together. They are together, and I'm like, what does this mean? Okay, because what I've heard about Madonna my whole life is that she always has a designated tension reliever on her tours, which is like one of the dancers. She will just pick one, and there'll be the guy that she has sex with, like on the tour, like all the time, whenever she needs to or wants to. Um, that was the rumor I heard back in the day, and I sort of thought that's kind of I don't know what that is, but I guess if it works, okay. If you, I hear about athletes that have to have sex before performing, or who don't have sex before performing, and people are kind of religious and weird about sex in relation to performing. And I thought maybe she's like that too. Maybe she just has to have someone. Maybe it's a way of relieving tension, or maybe she just gets lonely on the road or whatever. And supposedly she cheated on her husbands and her boyfriends when she was on tour. That's what I always heard gossip wise. And gossip is gossip, blah blah blah. You never know if it's true. It sounds like a good story, so it's probably all it was. But I never really thought much about it. Um, but then I started to sort of think about, as she got older, I started to think about the age difference and that, and I started to think, okay, when people, when straight guys do this, they're called dirty old men. When women do it, they're called cougars, and it's not necessarily seen as a bad thing. I'm not sure if that's really fair. I think if they should all be dirty old people, or they should all be like cougars. I'm not really sure about how that works. If it's okay for women, it should be okay for men too. If it's okay for men, it should be okay for women too. Some people look down on women who do it, say they're desperate or whatever. They never say that about men. So there's definitely a double standard there. But I've noticed this myself in the gay community. There's a lot of guys who keep aging, but they keep dating guys the same age. Um, and it really doesn't work outside of sex or sort of very superficial elements. I'm not really sure. A lot of people are concerned that she can't have a proper relationship because she's only dating younger men, and I think that's kind of true. But I'm guessing she doesn't want to have a long-term relationship, or she would be dating older men, and it's kind of her business. But I do worry about her a little bit because you never know. But so far as I've already forgotten his name. I actually met him on the Rebel Heart tour, and he was really, really sweet. Out of all the dancers I met, because I met about 10 of them, he was actually the nicest, and he was really, really sweet. Because I didn't know who he was, because I met him before I saw the show, and I hadn't seen Rebel Heart at all. I didn't watch the show because I wanted to see it for the first time live. And the only videos I watched on YouTube and stuff were the unapologetic bitches to see who was the unapologetic bitch that night. So I didn't know who he was. I didn't know he did the Messiah segment and how good he was and everything. So when I met him, I sort of felt really apologetic because I didn't know who the hell he was, but I was told he was one of her dancers. And he was really nice about it. He could have had an attitude or an ego like some of them did. Um, but he seemed really nice and sweet. And if she was going to pick any of them, because I met one of the other guys she dated, and I got the worst vibe from him. I don't like him at all, and I saw him a couple other things, and glared at me once. I'm like, what is this? What is this guy about? So I'm glad at least this one seems nice. He seems like a genuinely nice guy from just what I saw, and I believe in my instincts sometimes when I meet people. I think I can tell good people from bad people sometimes very easy. Um, and I think you would have to be very nice to get along with Madonna. You'd have to be pretty unique and special, I think, because I don't think she's very tolerant. So you'd have to be pretty much a saint, I think, to be with her. So he probably is really sweet, but I hope it's fine. But it's probably I mean, is it any more than sex? Is she just using him for tension relief and just to have someone on the road, or is he using her just to get attention and money? Like a lot of people accused. I want to say Jesus. I know it's not how you say his name. I'm really bad with names. Um, she dated him for a long time, and a lot of people were talking about him using her. And she dated a few other younger guys. I think it's Briham. I can't say his name either. And God, I just need to stop saying names, because if it's not like Steve or John, I always get it wrong. And I sound really ignorant. But yeah. So I just want to make a video because I just sort of thought it was interesting. I thought, what is this? Is it a real relationship? Is it just tension relief on tour? Is it just loneliness on tour? Is it she's being exploited by younger guys because they just want fame and attention? They can get that for dating her because it automatically gets attention. Oh, Madonna's dating a younger guy, 61-year-old Madonna dating 25-year-old. I've forgotten his name again. I didn't write it down. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what people think of it. I just sort of wanted to comment on it. I don't think there's anything really wrong with it. I don't think he's so young. He was 20 when he first did the Rebel Heart tour, but he's 25 now. I don't think he's so young. He doesn't know what he's doing. And obviously she knows what she's doing. And if they're both happy with it and everyone else is okay with it, that's fine. But long term, I'd like to see her find a strong man closer to her age, not her age, because guys her age are just, you wouldn't want to date them. I understand why she wouldn't date guys her own age, because she's so much younger and progressive and intelligent, and a lot of older men, they get stuck in their ways and tired, and I can see why she wouldn't date her own age. I totally am with that. I don't think I'm going to do it myself, ever. But she needs to find someone at least a decade or two closer so she can have a relationship that lasts long. Because I think we all need that. And I think she is, whether she's been burned a couple of times, I think she's the marrying, settling down kind. So I hope things go well. I hope this goes well. I don't have anything negative to say. I made a couple of bitchy comments on Facebook that it's probably just all for sex. He's probably just doing it for money. I hope he gets money out of it because she's, she'd be a horror to deal with, and she probably would be. But I don't know. I'm just going to leave it there. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment. Comments are fun. Thanks. Bye.